This is Josh, and I've got here with me.
Hi guys, it's Mama C from Krista's Corner.
And the idea we've had recently is to start doing a podcast. So this video is pretty much just us having a conversation because, as you can see, the CONVO Den. And seeing if he's like it, and if he's do, we'll be sharing on both of our channels this first episode and maybe the first couple, and if he's like it, then we'll be taking it further and I'll be making a second channel to do that. But yeah, let's get into it. Is there anything that is on your mind right now? Anything at all?
Well,
Not really? Okay. What is, cause you're a very positive person, and I'm a quite negative person, it's just the way we are. Are you worried or in any way interpretive, or you know the word I'm trying to use? Are you worried or whatever about doing a podcast with me because we may get, I know that we're family and we love each other, but like, are you worried about anything being like set, you know what I mean? Do you know where I'm coming from?
yeah, I do, Josh, and I have to tell you that there's nothing about this that sort of gives me any negative vibes or anything, because I think that you and I have a lot of ideas and opinions, and although they may be different, I think that we can come into an understanding of each other, and that, you know, we can voice our opinions to each other without it turning into something ugly. So yeah, I don't have any problems with that at all.
Yeah, well, sweet. Well, that's what I'm hoping as well. But I believe it. But I'm hoping as well. It's like, sorry guys. Mainly, as I said, because of me and the way I sometimes be a smartass and the way that I say things. So yeah, it was just a thought, and I wanted to ask you about it. Okay. The second thing I wanted to bring up is that the idea for this has pretty much come from me, because I can keep making...
Keep going, sir.
I can keep making videos and try and entertain that way. But I'm seeing a lot of people right now, and a lot of people liking the fact that there's just two people having conversation, or it's real life, or you know what I mean? So the whole idea of this is coming from a place of like, okay, well, I see this, I like this, so let's see if we can do this.
It's funny you should say that, Josh, because just about 10 minutes ago I was looking through a magazine, and it was actually talking about a percentage of people nowadays that listen to podcasts. So yeah, they are quite popular, because I mean, if I couldn't be bothered getting up right now to go and get the magazine, but yeah. I could give you the actual numbers. But yeah, and guys, don't mind the noise in the background, just the dogs locked in the room so they don't become a nuisance out here. But yeah, they're fine.
I was about to say, we don't want them knocking over the expensive camera and ruining all of our expensive equipment.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, actually, this was one thing I wanted. This is one thing I did want to bring up to you, which it's what I do, it's what I like doing, and because I grabbed it and it was something that's in my notes here. What is your opinion on my drinking, my alcoholism?
That's a really, really, really huge statement, Joshua. And it's very rarely that I hear you say that your alcoholism, because you don't normally agree to that to 100%. But I have to say that your drinking is a huge problem for me, in a whole lot of different ways. One of the most stressful things is that as your mother, I would love you to not drink to the extent that you do. I would love to just sort of tie you up and sort of have you detox for a couple of weeks without any alcohol at all, and know that you're going to be okay, because I actually believe your alcohol intake is going to kill you. And
prematurely, or it's going to be the leading cause?
No, it'll kill you before me. And as your mother, I don't want that to happen. But as a person, you have the right, and I have to respect the right that you have to do what you want to do to your body and how you want to do it. And so there's this constant battle for me against myself, because one part of me wants you to, wants to hold on to my little boy and protect him and keep him safe. And the other one just wants to swear and talk about what a dickhead you are because you're killing yourself. So, and I also have this, I come from a background of an alcoholic father, an abusive alcoholic father, and an abusive alcoholic ex, who both were just horrendous to be around when they were drunk. And every time you get drunk and you get slurry and you stink of alcohol, and it's sort of, so for me that brings around another whole range of
emotions,
of bad stuff, because they're not nice memories that I've got. So then there's disgust, like I'm disgusted because I feel sick in the stomach, that because all of that other stuff comes back. So the whole thing around your drinking is there's not one bit of positive that I can glean from that.
But that would be the way, no matter which one of us three boys we were talking about, wouldn't it? Like if my younger brother, we won't say their names, but if my younger brother started drinking as much as I drink, you'd be saying the same thing to him.
Funny thing, Joshua, is probably not, because your older brother's an alcoholic as well. But I've told you before, when you were younger, when you were about 7, you were riding a bike in front of me. I was about 20 metres behind you, and it was a really beautiful day, sun shining, everything's just, beautiful. And I was walking, and by myself behind you, and then all of a sudden I heard, you won't have him for long. And so your whole life from that moment on, every time you've gotten a bit sick, every time you don't feel well, or you're sad, or whatever, there's something going on with you, my fear is straight to the forefront, because I think this is the time it's going to happen. And because I came with you at one point to the doctors and she told you that you're going to die early and that I would probably be burying you, so every time you get unwell, and then hearing that on top of everything else, and no mother wants to lose their child. I mean, I know a lot of people out there, probably hundreds of thousands of people have lost children, and that's horrible. And I've been lucky to have you this long, but it's, it's something that I have held on to forever and have had fear of since forever, which is why when you told me you thought you were going to have a short life yourself, that I told you that you had to move out, because I don't want to be the one that finds you dead in the morning.
Well, thank you for bringing that up because that was going to be my next thing. It's like, knock on wood, I don't die anytime soon. But like since I've been a teenager, since I'm young, I've never expected to make it to the age of 50. Never really thought of 40 as maybe my end time, or like an exact age. A number of 36 or 37 has come up in the head. So yeah, besides that, and there's no wanting to die young or anything like that, but it's like, maybe maybe you and me are tapped into something, and I don't know. I won't make a joke out of it, but I know my drinking does screw with you, and I do try and keep it away, and yeah. And that's what I'm hoping will be maybe one thing that comes out of this is if our podcast takes off, then next minute we're doing videos all the time and I can't be getting pissed, can I? So, I'm just going to go to the toilet, so do you want to speak to the people? Tell them to like, share and you know the rest, and I'll be back in a sec.
Darling, you don't tell people, you ask them. Okay, it's just rude.
Mum, tell them, Mum, tell them.
So guys, I suppose all I can say at this point in time, our very first conversation here is probably one of the hardest ones for me. You know, like, because his drinking is horrendous. And he gets drunk, like, horrendously yuck drunk, in my opinion. And knowing that it's killing him and slowly killing him, it's not something that, and you know, I would love him to wake up tomorrow. I would love him to start, you know, this podcast to do really well. That gives him something else to do other than drink. But I don't believe that it will, because he usually starts drinking around, you know, lunchtime and keeps drinking, you know, until, depending, midnight or so. And like, he'll tell you that sometimes when he's got things to do, he'll won't drink until later on, until everything's done, and that's true. But the drinking that he does from that point on is horrible. Like, he makes up for it, and then he'll sit up and drink until, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock the next morning. So it's not that he stops drinking during the day, but he doesn't stop drinking. He makes up for it during the night.
So are you what do you call the word, while my back's turned?
No, because it's the truth. And it's, as I said to you, you know, like one thing I said about the podcast before, you know, as long as we can be honest with each other and respect each other's differences of opinion, because you and I...
Okay, could I quickly say something to that?
Yeah, sure.
As I said, I fully 100% understand emotionally, no, but logically, yes, I fully understand what you're saying and your worries. And I get that. But for me, it's like, I enjoy it. It's what I enjoy. Like, I like watching Bad Friends, or before Tricia screwed it up, I used to like watching H3.
What are they?
Podcast as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, there's been a few people, but the other people been cancelled, like Shane and Jeffrey, and yeah. Anyway, to the alcohol thing.
Yeah, we can talk about that some other day, because that's probably for me.
Yeah, so guys, we'll probably get into, this will be an ongoing thing, because it is an ongoing thing, isn't it? So...
My life is, so, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we'll talk about that, another one of that, in a little bit of a later thing. So guys, we're going to take a 2-second break and be back in a sec, so see you in a second, guys.
Bye.
So, one thing I wanted to explain to people is that Mum's cat is a little shit. Look at him.
This is Cooper, by the way.
He's sitting there like claw. Anyway, I wasn't going to talk about the cat.
Yes,
Watch
anyway.
this thing. I will talk about what I'm about to talk about, but watch this thing, okay? Anyway, so recently, me and Mum have gotten a boat. It needs some work. The floor needs to come up, and the strut.
No,
would you
no.
call it struts?
Okay.
The part under the floor, the wood that holds the floor up.
I
Struts.
have no idea, Joshua.
The floor needs to be replaced because it's kind of rotten. So we need to do that. Motor works, everything else works. We just need to hook it up. And Mum loves fishing, don't you?
Yes.
Well, okay, just quickly before I hand over the mic, I have tried fishing a few times, and Mum can vouch for this. And it's always been offshore, and I don't catch animals or fish.
Actually, if truth be told, guys, the reason Joshua got the boat was so he could do away with me. Do you know how I know that? Because on at least 3 or 4 occasions, he was talking about us going out on the boat and imagining me falling into the water. You know,
Dreams, they were dreams.
dreams of me falling into the water. And yeah, I mean, and the conversation that's come from them, I think he's just waiting to take me out to do away with me. That's a bit rough. But if he doesn't, yeah, I love fishing. I haven't done it for a long time, and I don't think I've ever actually fished off a boat, so it's going to be something pretty awesome for me when we finally get to do it. But as I said to him, take your time. You know, there's no need to hurry. Get it done properly, and then once it's done, he can look at it and know that he's the one that's done it, and he can get the pride from having done a good job on that. So yeah, I can wait. You know, if it takes another 6 months or a year, it doesn't matter, because it'll be done the way that he wants it, and
properly, and
Yeah.
won't have to be done for a...
yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it.
I was about to say, and because we're going to get famous now because of our podcast,
Are we?
yes, we
Yeah,
are.
okay.
We are, guys, aren't we? Because you guys use lovely, beautiful, inspirational, intelligent, just like completely glorious people.
Okay, Joshua, stop the dribble now, okay? It's coming out of your mouth. But yeah, guys, I think that Josh and I have a lot to say about a lot of different things, and you know, I'd be really happy if he liked, shared, and what's the other thing they need to do?
Press that little red
Subscribe.
button.
That's it. Subscribe. That's it. You can tell I'm a real, you know, YouTuber. But yeah, you know, if you, and even if you just want, you know, for us to, you know, talk about a topic that you're interested in, you know, we've got opinions about everything, Josh and I. So
Comments
yeah.
are always welcome.
So you know, comments are always welcome, negative or positive.
Mm.
You know, Josh and I are pretty thick-skinned, so I don't think there's too much that you can say to either of us that if you need to be nasty, that's fine. I can deal with it, and I'm sure Josh, you can too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, maybe some creative criticism, and you know, something that help us along if you see something we're not actually, that we could be doing better. You know, we're quite up for being told that, as long as you do it respectfully, because
If you don't, we're coming for you.
yeah, Josh, yeah, that's what's going to happen. Anyway, so Josh he brought up earlier on that he wanted to talk about a subject that it really aggravates him, probably more so than me. So I'm going to hand it over to him and give you a start on that, Josh.
Okay, my thing has nothing to do with like gays per se. Like, I'm bisexual myself, in case you didn't know. Oh shit! Did I just? Fuck. No.
What?
So there's nothing to do with the people, but the whole fact that everyone's getting into needing their own identity and specific or
Specifically?
specific identities, and it's getting a bit, I just don't understand the whole I can understand like a male feeling like a female, or a female feeling like a male. I can understand that. And I can understand to a certain point a few of these things. But when firstly you go back 30, 40 years and we were all trying to get out of, I know 30 years ago I was only 3 years old, I knew that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we were trying to get out of the labels, we were trying to stop that. And now it seems like everyone wants to label themselves something. You're this, you're Z, you're Zer, or you're they, or you're, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just don't get it, pretty much.
Okay, well, my take on that, as you know, I have always respected anybody's choices of what they do, how they want to be, and all of that sort of stuff. The thing about this new stuff is that when I was younger, homosexuality was almost taboo and a sin, and people were treated really horrendously because of their choices of love. And it was wrong. It was always wrong. Just because you were gay, you were somehow less than, and I never understood that, because I view everyone as the same as far as I'm concerned. Like, we all bleed, we all sneeze, we all fart, we all cough, we all, like, we're the same. We just look different.
If you cut us, it's all red underneath.
But what seems to have happened now that the world accepts, or at least in this country, accepts that the gay or LGBTQ,
lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, intersex, queer, AI. I don't know what the AI stands for.
Okay. Excuse my ignorance. It's not.
Both are ignorance, because this isn't something
we delve into.
We know yet.
Yeah, but that's what seems to be happening for me. Like, from what I can see, is the people that used to be bullied and horrendously segregated, basically, from the human race and labelled as non-human, are now doing that to us. Now, it may be, it's fair enough that, it's like people that have been
victimised?
Yeah, all their lives. It's fair enough that they should be able to stand up and say that, but to now tell me I'm not allowed to call myself or a male or a female because everyone, like, you're not allowed to name your babies, or this is what's being spoken about, you're not allowed to, when your children are born, you don't have to give them a male or female identity, that they're supposed to just be an it or a they until they're old enough to decide for themselves. That I don't understand. And so, like, I'm now being, and I've always been accepting of everybody for whatever their choices are, but now I'm being victimised because I'm straight. So it seems like for me that those that were victimised are now doing the victimising, and that I don't understand.
Well, that was exactly what I was just about to say. That's one thing, as I was saying it to you, or as you were explaining it back to me. I don't know which one it was, but the thought popped into my head was victims. Most of them are not. They're probably legitimate victims. They're not like victims, but they're like victims. So if you're a victim most of your life and you finally get some power, what do you think most people with some power, when they've never had it, are going to do with it? So it's like, okay, finally I got it. It's like, okay, I get it tiny bit. It's like, okay, these LGBT guys do the Zizos, Apache helicopter, whatever. Okay, it's them, they're finally being given some power now, so I guess that's kind of made me... Am I wrong in thinking that? Because that's where my mind kind of just went with that, was like... you could, like you said, bullying, but for me it's like a victim finally has power, so that, like, yeah, exactly, it's a bully. Okay, yeah, it's a bully because it's like a bully is normally someone that's been bullied by their dad or like, you know what I mean. A bully is normally bullied. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, actually, firstly, let me tell you that I don't think you're wrong. I don't think people are wrong. I think people have their ways of their perceptions, their ideas and their thoughts, and everyone's entitled to, whether it's the same as mine or not. And I understand the victim. I was a victim to my life for most of my life. And I now have some, what you call power, but my power is of self. And just because I have more power of myself now, I don't belittle anybody just because I'm now in a better place and have more inner strength than I did, say even a year ago. So I don't belittle anybody, but it seems to me that that's happening out there. That, as I said, the victims have become bullies. And I don't see that as right. They shouldn't have ever stated victims, but they, like, what was wrong with them just believing in themselves and not caring about what anyone else says, especially now that it's accepted, like totally accepted now. And the people that don't accept them, well, they never have and they never would anyway. But generally, the population accepts watching two women walking down the street holding hands, two men kissing. The general population accept that anyway. So why now are the victims, why are they bullying and making other people insignificant or feel insignificant?
That honestly is a good question, and in my mind, they're like, how would I say it or explain it? Like, the way I thought of it before is like, if people said, if everyone, like 80% of people agreed that people with the name Krista that have black hair with a bit of white and they're a little bit chubby to fat, are the new, the divine, like the new Cleopatra. Let's just say that. Could you see yourself, if you were put on a pedestal, do you seriously think that you wouldn't take that power? And because I know, and as I said right at the start, I think I said this, I'm a bit of a darker side. It explains why black and white. So if I'm given power, I'm most likely going to use it. So it's like, are you sure that if you were given that power, that you wouldn't abuse it? And just think about the question, because we're going to go for another 2-second break, okay? So guys, we'll be back. See you in a sec. So yeah, have you thought about it?
Yeah, I have,
Excuse me,
but I sort of thought maybe this is a conversation that we can bring up again in another Convo Den episode, because there's a lot to be said from my side at least, and I'm sure you've got some, rebuttal from whatever I have to say.
My only thing to say would be
No?
to be honest, my only thing to say would be the fact that they're trying to involve children. It's like, that's my only problem. It's like, as you kind of said before, and I think that's where you're kind of going with it, was that whole idea of, yes, everyone has the right to do what they want. As an adult, everyone has the right and the thing and whatever to do whatever they want. Stop attacking, Mum. See, I told you to watch him. Okay. So guys, yeah, it's when it becomes children that are being affected, then that's where I draw a problem. And also, it's crazy people, because I won't make you watch it, I'll put it up on the screen in 2 seconds for you. 2 seconds for you guys.
My pronouns are they, them, Korean, Jimin, because I know a lot of people don't understand me, but I do identify as Korean, and I do look Korean now. I do feel Korean. I don't identify as British, so please don't refer to me, any media or anyone online, as British, because I identify as Korean. That's just my culture. That's my home country. That's exactly how I look now. And I also identify as Jimin. That's my Korean name. But not only that, I know it's a little bit confusing for some people. Nobody's ever come out as Jimin or Korean, but this is something that you guys know if you follow my journey for the last 8 years. I've really struggled with identity issues, with who I am, with who I am. It's a very tough one. So I've finally had the courage. I've undergone my racial, can't think of the word, transitional surgery.
It's a video of a British guy at 17, 18. He was blonde and he was a young British dude. And now he's dyed his hair pink. He's cut it like do you know what a K-pop is? K-pop star? Anyway, yeah, okay. Anyway, so what he's actually done is he's had plastic surgery to make his eyes... You all see it on the video, I'm just trying to explain to Mum. He's made his eyes this.
Yeah.
And he says that he identifies with his home country and his culture, which is Korea, because that's how he identifies. He is British. And to go back to the thing before, is if you're born with the, I don't know if we've said this, but if you got a penis, you got a penis. If you got a vagina, you got a vagina. If you're born in Australia, which we were, well, I was, you weren't born in Australia. I was born in Australia, so I'm Australian. I can't just click my fingers and go, I'm South African now.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I find that rather judgmental, because unless this man is hurting somebody else by making his choice for himself and calling him Korean and changing his physical appearance and stuff, I don't see what the problem is personally. What I was talking about was sort of the people that are trying to change laws to suit themselves but make it law for everyone. That's what I was talking about. So, like
the forcing.
Yeah, like they're trying to make different laws change about, as I said, like with babies. They're trying to get in, from what I've heard, like I don't know, I don't watch the news or anything anymore, so what I hear is all secondhand anyway. But they're trying to change it so that the teachers aren't allowed to have Mr. or Mrs. anymore or something, that when babies are born, they're not going to have male or female on their birth certificates, because they need to have hang on a minute please, they need to have the right to choose for themselves and all that sort of stuff. But
you know a family member we both have that is involved in the medical field and has kind of, it's not a big person in the medical field, but they've explained that too. It may have just been me they explained that too, but exactly, yeah.
The fact is, it's no matter how far anybody wants to go, whether you call it male or female, whether you call it Dick and Dora, whether you call them whatever, there is still only two sexes in the whole animal kingdom. Even in plants, you have the male part and the female part. It's in everywhere. So just because you decide...
What's a hermaphrodite?
Well, it's the one with two...
A dick and a vagina.
Right.
So what's that?
But again, they're a hermaphrodite. That's.
But that's a rare occurrence.
It's still that. But again, I mean, if I was born a hermaphrodite and I wanted everyone else to be one just because I'm one, it's like with depression and stuff. Just because I'm depressed doesn't mean that I need to turn everyone else sad and make sure they're depressed as well. So as I said, my thing isn't about like this gentleman. Go for it, change his hair dark, do whatever it makes him comfortable, as long as he's not forcing other people to do something just because that's what he's decided for himself.
Okay, so I think I take back half of what I said. Maybe. I think. I agree, unless he was hurting someone. Okay, and he's probably not. And as I said, they may have seen it because I may have put it up already, or I'm about to. I don't know. And they can judge for themselves. But the whole thing in my mind is young kids watch this. Young kids watch YouTube. By young people, I mean like 20-year-olds as well, 25-year-olds, not just 12-year-olds, or 9-year-olds. So, and I guess that did come across judgmental, so I don't want to, hopefully, anyway, if we get used to people being able to say that they're this, that, and this and that, and I know this is wrong, and I know I'm a bit of a dark person for being able to think this kind of hypothetical, but then what stops me from going, oh, I'm a little 12-year-old boy, I should be able to hang out with little 12-year-old girls.
Okay, but see, again, you're taking, from my point of view, you're taking this into a totally different arena.
Okay.
What I was listening to what you were saying before about kids watching this and role model, not so much role models, but kids that watch this and what's it.
It would be a role model. It's probably a couple of people's role model.
Right, but I will say to you with that, you said earlier on you're bisexual, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Did I teach that to you?
No.
Did anything you ever watched or saw on any sort of social media decide that for you?
Are you trying right now, because be careful, because there's a lot of, maybe not a lot, there's going to be people watching this. Are you trying to say that the way that you're born is the same as what you identify as?
No, what I said was, did you watch shows?
And we can continue conversation.
Did you watch shows and stuff that that turned you into a bisexual, or did you choose because that's what you wanted? What I was meaning was that thousands of people may watch this gentleman, but doesn't mean that they're going to follow him.
Unless it resonates with them.
Yeah, and the people
Yeah.
that do, yeah. I mean, it's the same. It's why people do different things, why they have groups. But anyway, I think it's probably, we could probably go on until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But how about we just mark these down and maybe for further conversation at some other time.
Okay then. Well, we'll say the last couple of things. Number one, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Okay? It's number one.
Secondly, guys, look after yourselves. Stay happy, stay focused, and Mum and C will see you next time. Have an awesome one. Bye.
Okay, guys, but seriously, hopefully you like this podcast. Comment, please. Comments help a lot. And again, you can give us comments on things to talk about. You'd be happy for that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think, did we just say earlier on? I don't mind.
Yeah, you did. I'm pretty sure you said that.
Yeah, I don't mind comments, and we only can grow from, constructive criticism.
Yeah, even if they're negative, it's like we can still learn from them, yeah.
Yeah, but as long as they're negative in a respectful way, not
negative, what do you call it?
Constructive criticism.
That's it, yeah. Construct. Okay, so as I said, hopefully you guys are going to like this. It's going to be on It's Just Josh's channel, which is me, obviously, and Krista's Corner, which is Mum, obviously, and from me, good night, good morning, good evening, and goodbye.
Bye, guys.